The first time I saw the beast, it lunged at my shuttle with a speed that blurred the edges of reality. Its eyes weren't just predator's eyes. They were calculated, intelligent, and terrifyingly aware. I should have died that day. I should have ended as a footnote in some alien laboratory report. But I didn't. And the alien girl watching from the observation deck, her expression a mixture of horror and disbelief, would never forget it either. I had been assigned to the Helion research outpost on HFY, a remote mining and research station orbiting a jagged crimson planet. The mission was simple. Assist in the study of the planet's apex predators. Simple until I realized the predators weren't just animals. They were engineered sentinels of a long-lost civilization. Creatures designed to test intelligence, loyalty, even fear itself. Their survival instincts had been honed to perfection over centuries. Most visitors didn't survive a single encounter. But the alien girl, Slithra, the envoy of the Corellian Council, watched me with wide eyes as I approached the creature, unarmed, unshielded, and quite frankly insane. "Human, do you know what you are doing?" she asked, her voice high and melodic, like wind through crystalline towers. But I didn't answer. I couldn't. My heart was hammering, yet something in me, something primal and stupidly brave, told me to stay. I whispered softly to the predator, my voice trembling yet firm. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The beast froze. Its massive body rippled with muscle, black scales shimmering with a faint bioluminescence. Its claws dug into the metal floor. Every instinct in its body screamed to strike. And then, incredibly, it paused. Just paused. "What are you doing?" Slithra gasped, stepping closer to the observation glass. Her fingers curled around the railing. It's impossible. No human has ever done that." But that was only the beginning. Over the next few days, I returned to the predator's enclosure. I learned its patterns, mimicked its behavior, and most importantly, never threatened it. Each visit was a negotiation of trust, and each step forward felt like walking a tightrope over a bottomless chasm. The scientists called it reckless. The guards called it suicidal. But Slithra, she watched in awe as I coaxed the beast closer, allowed it to sniff my hand, to study my face without aggression. She couldn't hide the questions in her eyes. Why are you not dead?" I didn't answer because the truth was simple and terrifying. I had nothing to fear from the predator. Not because I was strong. Not because I was clever. But because I understood it. I saw its loneliness, its confusion, its hunger for connection. And somehow, somewhere deep in my DNA, it recognized me too. Weeks passed and our bond grew. The predator, whom I had started calling Eric's, followed me within the confines of the enclosure. It rested near me, watched over me, even responded to subtle gestures. It wasn't tame in the conventional sense. It was bonded, symbiotic, almost familial. Slithra approached me one night after a long session of observation. Her skin shimmered with faint turquoise patterns, the Corellian's way of displaying emotion. "You're breaking every protocol," she said softly, almost to herself. "You're defying our understanding of survival instincts, of apex predators. You've made it trust you." I shrugged, tired and exhilarated. Maybe some instincts are meant to be understood, not feared. Her gaze lingered on Eric's, pacing in the shadows. "If your connection holds, it could change everything. But it could also get you killed." And then the alarm screamed. A siren wailing through the station corridors. Containment breach. The lab's intercom stuttered with panicked voices. Eric's roared, louder than anything I had ever heard. As if the sound itself carried intelligence. The predator's enclosure doors had been sabotaged. A rival research faction, humans who saw these creatures as weapons, had released multiple predators to cover their theft. Chaos erupted. Slithra grabbed my arm. "We have to go." I looked back at Eric's. Its eyes locked with mine. There was understanding there. There was choice. And then, in a move that would have seemed impossible to anyone else, it stepped aside, letting me pass. Not out of fear but trust. The station descended into madness. Predators collided, alarms blared, and the humans who had underestimated the apex creatures screamed. And through it all, Eric's moved like a shadow, keeping me safe, warning me with roars and body language of imminent danger. By the time we reached the main shuttle bay, Slithra was pale, trembling. "Human, you could have died 1,000 times," she whispered. And yet you survived. I smirked, bloodied and exhausted. Some instincts you just have to respect. But that was only the beginning. The aftermath on Turn 9 changed everything. Word spread across interstellar networks. A human had bonded with an apex predator engineered for destruction. Political and scientific councils debated whether I was a hero, a threat, or an anomaly that defied the very laws of survival. Slithra stayed by my side, her admiration and concern intertwined in ways neither of us fully understood. And Eric's became more than a creature of terror. It became a symbol, an apex predator that could choose, that could connect, that could trust. And in choosing me, it had rewritten what every species in the galaxy thought they knew about humanity. Half a cycle later, a shadow fleet appeared near Turn. The rival faction had returned, armed with new weapons, determined to capture Eric's and exploit the predators as living bioweapons. The station's defenses were insufficient. But I had a plan. Slithra and I, alongside Eric's, faced them in the station's main hangar. Dozens of human and alien mercenaries moved in formation, expecting to intimidate or overwhelm us. But the moment they laid eyes on Eric's, everything changed. Its roar resonated through the metallic corridors, a sound imbued with intelligence, judgment, and lethal precision. The attackers froze. Confusion spread. Fear spread faster. And in that pause I gave a command, not of control but of understanding. Eric's responded with instinctual grace. It moved between us and the intruders, signaling dominance without unnecessary bloodshed. One by one the intruders fled, realizing that nothing could force the predator to serve them. Not technology, not numbers, not greed. Slithra stared at me, her turquoise patterns bright and trembling. You didn't just survive. You won. I shook my head, still catching my breath. No, Eric's won. I just listened. In the quiet after the chaos, I knelt beside Eric's. My hands brushed its scales, feeling the warmth beneath the armor-like skin. You could have destroyed them all, I whispered. But you didn't. You trusted me. Eric's nuzzled me gently, a gesture so alien yet intimate it made my chest ache. Slithra joined us, placing a hand on my shoulder. Human, perhaps we've underestimated your capacity for empathy, for connection, for survival not through dominance, but understanding. The council eventually arrived. Reports, investigations, accolades, warnings, they all came. But none of it mattered in the quiet moments aboard the rebuilt station, when Eric's rested beside me, and Slithra's presence was more comforting than any weapon or shield. We had rewritten a small piece of the galaxy's understanding of life, choice, and trust. And I knew as I watched the twin suns set beyond Turn 9's jagged horizon, that nothing would ever be the same. The predators might be apex, but the humans, perhaps our greatest strength lay in a different kind of apex instinct. The ability to connect when logic screamed to dominate, to love when fear demanded control, and to survive when hope seemed impossible. Slithra whispered softly, her voice almost lost to the wind. You tamed our apex predator. I smiled, brushing Eric's massive snout. No, I didn't tame it. Chose me. And in choosing, it taught all of us something the galaxy will never forget. The predator's eyes gleamed in the fading light, reflecting both suns and a future full of possibilities. And for the first time in my life, I realized that survival wasn't about fighting the galaxy. It was about understanding it. And perhaps, just perhaps, that was the most dangerous, most beautiful power any human could ever hold.